Welcome back. Well, let's get going in terms of what's taking place within the commodities and the currencies market. Manisha Gupta joins in to give us an update. Manisha, morning.
Morning, and thank you for that. Well, we have seen the crude oil prices continue to be steady for a second straight day, and this is because the OPEC is making the right noises about a proposal to discuss 1 to 1.4 million barrels per day of a cut going towards the year end, and that really seems to be supporting. In any case, the other banks and brokerages, including BNP Paribas, which came out with a report last night, says that they think that the correction in the crude oil prices has been done. It is going to be consolidation and even a bit of an upside from here, and that they expect $80 per barrel for the Brent to come before we end this year. And that really is something that the other banks also are reiterating. On the other side, of course, there are supply concerns as the U.S. output is up by nearly 23% in this year. We also have seen the speculative net long positions continue to decline from the record highs that they were holding in the month of Jan. So there are these other issues as well, and that is the reason you are seeing the crude oil prices consolidating more than gaining or falling. So the volatility for once seems to have really taken a back seat. On the other side, the markets would continue to look at the U.S. dollar index, which is trading at a two-week low. The markets also would want to watch out for the U.S. Fed meeting in the month of December. The probability of a rate hike continues to decline from a 90% when we started this month to almost just about 70% now. So the statements, the data coming in from U.S. are going to be important. And the weak U.S. dollar also has been supportive. So some bit of a gain in many of these commodities, including crude, gold, and metals, seems to be coming in because of the weakness in dollars.
Right, Manisha, thank you so much for that. Meanwhile, in the Asian markets, the decline has increased. So we're at the low point of the day for majority of the Asian indices. The Hang Seng too low by about below the 26,000 mark as we speak. But cues for our markets from the F&O perspective and the cash market perspective seem fairly positive. So the FIIs, they bought about 1,103 crores in cash market yesterday. There was a fair amount of delivery buying on Reliance as well as ITC. So what the FII buying has done over the last 11 trading sessions is that the FIIs who've bought about 4,600 crores in the cash market after selling for many months in the cash market, they've bought for 8 times this month and sold just 3 times this month. What it has done is taken the Nifty higher from series lows of close to 10,004 to 10,764. So that's a near 750 point rally in just the last 11 trading sessions. In index futures too, there were positive cues. The FIIs bought close to around 900 crores, around 10,800 long contracts were added. Compare that to about 1,000 short contracts that were added. So that's telling you the FIIs added 10 longs per short contract. So at the start of the series, while they were 29% long, now they're 41% long. In index options too, there were fairly positive cues coming in. 10,000 long calls being added, 8,700 long puts being unwound. So that's telling you they are playing for an upside, and the long put holders believe that maybe the downside could be limited. However, the smart money which writes options has written both short calls as well as short puts. That's telling you that any move on either side would face some sort of a support on the lower end or a bit of a hurdle at the higher end. Where could that be? 10,700 seems to be the fulcrum of most active traded options. Together the premium is around 200 points. So that's telling you maybe 10,500 to 10,900 could be the larger range. The only chink in the armor, the put call ratio has crossed 1.7, is above 1.72. A slight overbought indication as far as that is concerned, but let's see where that goes. But that's as far as the markets are concerned in terms of F&O, but there are a lot of individual stocks for which Anisha joins us again, with a roundup of the stocks which will be reacting to brokerage reports. Anisha.
Well, yes, Mangam, let me start with Colgate, and Credit Suisse actually maintains the optimism on this one. They maintain the outperform rating with a target price of 13.75. Now they are convinced of a turnaround, though they say that the road can be a bit bumpy. They say that the margins in this initial phase of turnaround might be a bit unpredictable, and the market share trends as well as volume growth can be volatile on a quarterly basis. But they like the fact that the earning expectations are low and the reasonable valuations is what makes making the risk reward really favorable for Colgate. So they are positive as far as Colgate is concerned. Deutsche Bank has written on the real estate a bit. Now they say that the commercial property market has troughed out. The residential market is in a phase of bottoming out, and they also say that the sector is underowned as far as DIIs is concerned, and that's why they believe that there might be a bit of uptick coming in for the real estate estate sector as a whole. In fact, they have the biggest delta coming in on Godrej Properties, wherein they have a target price of 1,000 versus the closing price of around 625. They're also positive on Sobha with a target price of 550, positive on Oberoi Realty with a buy and a target price of 650. DLF they have a hold because their target price is 225, very close to the current market price of around 175. Moving on to some reports coming in on Jet Airways. Well, we have been talking about how Tata's might be interested in a deal as far as Jet Airways is concerned, but that seems to be going a bit slower than expected is what the reports are suggesting. Separately, the pilots are supposed to meet the management today, so it will be very important of what comes out of that particular meeting. We have also reports on ICICI Bank suggesting that they are planning to raise 25,000 crores, and HFCs may have to report liquidity status to NHB. So these are the key things to keep in mind for some of the stocks today.
Okay. All right, Anisha. Thanks very much for that. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this edition of Power Breakfast. Bazaar Morning Call up next.